Hello and welcome to Precon Decon, the video series where I deconstruct the pre-constructed decks of Magic the Gathering's history. In this video I'm going to start off by looking at Guilds of Ravnica, and we're going to start off by looking at Ral, Caller of Storms, which is a blue and red deck. Really excited to go back to Ravnica. This is now, the third time we've gone to Ravnica, isn't it? And at time of recording, I'm really actually looking forward to the Murders at Karlov Manor set, which I think should be coming out the start of 2024. Really looking forward to that set. That looks really fun. Anyway, enough about future sets. We're looking at this one. So deck list here, we've got 21 creatures, 6 instants, 6 sorceries, 26 lands, and of course a single Planeswalker. Let's take a look at Ral himself. So 4 blue and a red for a 4 loyalty Planeswalker, which is a little below curve what we've seen so far. Normally we expect 5 loyalty for that cost. +1 of draw a card, which is it's not great, is it? Just +1 just to draw a card, but yeah, whatever. -2, he does Arc Lightning, does 3 damage divided as you choose amongst 1, 2, or 3 targets. That's actually okay. It's a potential, kill off potentially 3 X1s is obviously okay. And then his -7. It's good that it's -7 because it doesn't, he's only got a +1, hasn't he? So -7, draw 7 cards, which on its own is really good, and then does 7 damage to each creature opponents control. So does a big one-sided sort of like board wipe. Ral is kind of okay. I do wish came in with more loyalty, but his -2 and his -7 are both really good. And like that +1 is fine as well, just to draw cards, and that's obviously okay. But yeah, all right, I think, compared to some of the others we've looked at. And then signature cards. So we've got 2 Ral's Dispersal, so 3 in double blue. This one is actually a bit different from all the other Planeswalker search spells we've had, because it's actually an instant, and all the others we've seen have been kind of at sorcery speed. They've either been creatures or sorceries or enchantments. This, I think, is the first instant speed one, which actually makes it stand out a little bit. So return the creature to owner's hand. I mean, so it's like 5 mana for an unsummon effect, which is But obviously the main thing is, so we obviously tried something in M19 where we didn't search up the specific Planeswalkers. We instead did that kind of look at the top 5 and pick a card. Now we've gone back to like no, we'll go back to searching up the Planeswalker. That's kind of like the whole point of it, I suppose. Search your library for all graveyard for Ral, Caller of Storms, reveal it, put it into hand, and then shuffle. This is okay. As I say, just because it's instant, it kind of stands out to me as being a bit social. It means you can tutor them up at instant speed. So that's okay. I think that's all right at Ral's Dispersal. Still very expensive at 5 mana just to bounce a creature, but can't make it any cheaper, I suppose. And then we've got 3 Ral's Staticaster. This is his buddy card. 2 a blue and a red for a 3/3 trample. And then the effect, if you got Ral and it attacks, it gets +1/+0 for every card in your hand, 10/10, which is not a terrible effect. It's actually like a pretty good payoff considering, generally how underwhelming these Planeswalker buddy cards are. It's still a pain to obviously meet the requirement, but like at least on its own, it's a 3/3 trample for 4 in colours that normally don't usually get that, I suppose. But yeah, that's actually an ability that's worth getting to when it swings and gets potentially +2, +3, even more. Yeah, that's okay. I think that's all right. And then 4 Precision Bolt, which is I don't like it. 2 in a red, sorcery speed does 3 damage to any target, so at least it can hit any target, I suppose. But just 3 mana at sorcery speed is just is some very inefficient burn. It's still fine. You've still got 4 of them, but like. Yeah, that's pretty poor offerings in terms of burn. 3 damage is kind of chunky. It could be worse, which is not a great sentiment you want to express for a card. Like going, it could be worse, I suppose. Like that's not a glowing review. Sure. Right, and then the other 2 res decks. So we got Erratic Cyclops, so 3 in a red for a 0/8 with trample. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it gets +X/0 until end turn, where X is the spell's mana value. This is it's okay because at least it comes down as a really big blocker. And then we're in blue and red, so we care about spells. Ideally, you want to be casting a bunch of spells. This could jump up, become like a really big trampler. It's all right. It's all right. You obviously it might have like the one really good turn where you completely pop off, cast a bunch of spells, and get them really big, and then swing with it. Could work. Yeah. And then the other rare is. I've got some thoughts about it. Omnispell Adept. So 4 in a blue for 3/4. 2 in a blue tap. You can cast an instant or sorcery card from your hand without paying its mana cost. And I checked. This does let you actually get around timing restrictions of sorceries. If you do this during your opponent's turn, you can still cast a sorcery. I double checked. I actually did my research for once. My issue with this is I don't think this is a bad card. This actually, honestly, this feels like saw it a few sets too early. This feels like this would have been perfect in Strixhaven with all the Prismari, because like the Prismari had super expensive spells. This would have been like a fun way of getting around the super expensive costs. My issues in this deck is that it doesn't really have much to do. Because you only have, like, I think only about like 5 spells that are like that cost more than 3. So you're not really getting much benefit from that ability. You're having to pay 5 to get it down anyway, and then assuming next turn, you play another land, so you got 6 mana open. Yeah, you're not. I say there's not many cards in here that are, or instant sorceries that are, cost 4 or more. So I say you just don't. You're not going to get, I think, a huge payback for this ability, honestly, in this deck as it is. Obviously you could adapt and like add in the more expensive spells, but as is, this feels like a bit of wasted potential, honestly. I do think it's a cool card though. I do think it has a lot of potential, but like just not in this deck as it is, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think there were better options for this maybe. And then we've got 2 Goblin Electromancers, blue and red. This is a really nice reprint actually from Return to Ravnica. Blue and red for a 2/2 makes your instant sorcery spells 1 less to cast, which is really nice. But also, you see what I mean. It goes it has anti-synergy with the Omnispell Adept, because it's just making instant sorceries even cheaper, which means the Omnispell Adept has less to do. Going back to the Omnispell Adept, I suppose it lets you cast red spells like in the insane situation that you only had like blue mana open. You could do that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really hung up on Omnispell Adept. Do think it's a cool card, just wasted potential here, maybe. Oh, on the subject of good reprints, We Dragonauts, all the way back from original Ravnica. 1 a blue and a red for 1/3 with flying. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, it gets +2, +0/10. This is a really nice reprint. I want to say this is like one of the first, like blue-red creatures like this. Like, when you cast an instant sorcery, like it gets some sort of trigger. I want to say it's like one of the first that did that, really. Yeah, but yeah, really nice to have it back. It's the fact it's got built-in evasion is really nice. Yeah, really like We Dragonauts. And they've got 2 Fire Urchins, which is kind of similar to We Dragonauts. 1 a red for 1/3 with Trample. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it gets +1, +0/10. It's nice that it's got Trample built in. That is really appreciated. The fact that if you again go off, cast a bunch of spells, gets power really high. At least it's got some sort of, not evasion, but a combat relevant ability to make that power boost relevant. So yeah, this is alright. I like that. And then a single Leapfrog, 2 and a blue for 3/1, has flying as long as you've cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, which is not a hard requirement to meet in the deck, I don't think. And it becomes a 3/1 flyer, which again is okay. But I think We Dragonauts and Fire Urchin I think are a little bit better. And then we've got some like more just evasive creatures. So these don't really care about instants or sorceries, but they are just evasive flyers or whatever. So a single Muse Drake, 3 and a blue for 1/3 flying. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Yep, that's fine, very straightforward. 2 Hellkite Whelps, 4 and a red for 3/3 flying, which is actually okay for red. Whenever it attacks, does 1 damage to target creature defending player controls. That's nice, like a little built-in burn effect. That's actually okay, I think. At 5 mana in red, uncommon. I think that's all right. Nice little uncommon dragon to have there. And then a single Passable Adept, 1 in a blue for a 1/3, 2 in a blue. Target creature can't be blocked this turn, so that goes really nicely with, like the big Cyclops. It goes well with the Fire Urchin, the We Dragonauts, all that kind of stuff. The stuff that's been boosted up by you casting instants and sorceries. Yeah, I mean, even if you don't have one of those creatures out, even like making something like the Omnispell Adept like unblockable, that's still like 3 damage unblockable, so that'd be okay. Or like Ral's Staticaster, stuff like that. So yeah, Passable Adept can do, I think, a fair job in this deck. Vidalcan Mesmerist, this is a very weird inclusion, I think. Just a single one of them. 1 in a blue for a 2/1. When it attacks a creature an opponent controls, gets -2, -0/10. Not a terrible effect, because it does potentially mean like whatever blocks it can't kill it. You mess up the power of something else that's going to block. So yeah, as long as it means that one of your attackers might survive getting blocked, I think it's okay. I think it's just weird there's only just one of them in the deck, really. But yeah, I think it's okay. And then a single Rubble Belt Boar, 3 in a red for a 3/2, but ends battlefield. Target creature gets +2, +0/10. So yeah, this, I suppose this is counting as instant or sorcery, maybe for like your We Dragonauts, so you can give them the boost this way by casting a creature spell. And it's a 3/3 as well. Yeah, it's okay. It's like, again, very straightforward basic creature. I think it's okay. And then this is, I don't know, this is a real shame. The 3 Fearless Halberdiers, just 2 in a red for a 3/2. That's all it is. Yeah, just again. Well, actually, these will actually serve as good discard fodder because we're going to talk about now the non-creature spells. So, I was going to say all the guilds got new keywords in this Return to Ravnica, not Return to Ravnica, but you know what I mean, Guilds of Ravnica, that the 3rd Ravnica set. Apart from Selesnya, I think Selesnya went back to Convoke because Convoke is massively popular. But all the others, I think, from what I remember, got new keywords. And I'm torn in how I feel about the is it keyword. So let's take a look at it. So Direct Current is 1 and double red for a sorcery, does 2 damage to any target, and has Jumpstart. Also, I'm going to just say about Jumpstart, it's fine to call the mechanic that. It was so stupid to call the the Jumpstart, the set, like the Jumpstart boosters. I think it's so silly to give them the same name as this mechanic, because it's such a pain to search for online. If you do Jumpstart, it'll either give up cards with Jumpstart or the Jumpstart cards. Anyway, that's such an old man shakes fist at cloud argument. But anyway. So Direct Current, Jumpstart. You can cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other cost, then exile this card. So it's basically flashback, isn't it? It's just flashback for its mana cost plus discard a card. It's basically flashback, isn't it? I don't know. just give him flashback, just give it flashback as normal. We all know what a flashback is. Jumpstart just feels like a really unnecessary change to an existing mechanic, but it's fine. At least it lets you cast a spell more than once. It's still okay. Obviously, flashback adds a lot to a spell's value. So yeah, it's still okay. Just with the added thing, you have to discard a card as well. But say you got the Fearless Halberdiers, which are if you're not casting them, at least you might as well discard them because they're just very boring vanilla creatures. Yeah, so Direct Current is, I guess, okay. I mean, 3 mana at sorcery speed for 2 damage does hit anything, I suppose. It's okay. And then a single Chemister's Insight, 3 and a blue, instant speed, draw 2 cards. It has Jumpstart. So yeah, I suppose you draw more cards, and then that gives you more fuel to jumpstart the second casting, I suppose, maybe. And then a single Maximize Altitude, a single blue at sorcery speed to give a creature +1/+1 and give it flying till end turn. Really wish this was an instant because it'd be a really nice little combat trick. And then again, it's got Jumpstart. So I mean, all these Jumpstart things, at least it gives you the option to cast it again, and that helps trigger like We Dragonauts and the Cyclops and the was it the Fire Urchin? Yeah. So that's all okay, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. They feel a bit underwhelming. I miss Overload. I loved Overload so much. Jumpstart's okay. I just can't help but look at it and just like, this is just flashback but worse. And then a single Sonic Assault, 1 a blue and a red, instant tap target creature, and it does 2 damage to the creature's controller. This is okay. And then again, it's got Jumpstart. It's just a real shame we've only got like 1 copy of each. I know technically it's like, oh, you got 2 copies because you can cast it again by jumpstarting it. But like, I just wanted more of these, I suppose. And then 2 Command the Storm, 4 and a red, instant, does 5 damage to target creature, which is like not an insignificant amount of damage. But again, it's instant speed. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. For like a common burn spell, it's okay. And then 4 is it Guild Gates, and it's battlefield tapped and gives you blue or red. It counts as a gate as well for any, not that you got anything in the deck that cares about gates. I think there are a few cards in this Ravnica set that cared about gates, but I don't think any of them are in this deck or the next one. And then 12 mountains and 10 islands. So let's talk about what could have been. I think just needed. It's just a shame because like all the really good like things that care about instant sorceries are kind of like at higher rarities, like uncommon, which is like already like quite. It's quite a packed space already, I suppose, in the deck because I mean you got like 3 of the static casters taking up 3 of the space, haven't you? Let's talk about what could have been. So I thought Piston Fist Cyclops could fit in here. So 1 and 2, is it hybrid mana for a 4/3 defender? It can attack in a turn you've cast an instant or sorcery spell, so it's just like a big beater. Thought that could be okay. Electrostatic Field and Murmuring Mystic, I think, would have been absolute home runs in here. So Electrostatic Field, 1 a red for a 0/4 defender. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it does 1 damage to each opponent. And Murmuring Mystic, 3 and a blue for a 1/5. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you make a bird token. So both of these, I think, would have been great. Just have more of these instant sorcery triggers in the deck. And just again, and also have some more instant sorceries, I suppose. So Hypothesisal, I think, could have been fun in here. So 3, a red and a blue. It's a common as well, actually, so it could have actually easily fit. You draw 2 cards, and then you discard a non-land card, and then when you do, Hypothesisal does 4 damage to target creature. So, like, you could have had these instead of like the what was it, Command the Storm, that expensive burn spell? Yeah, Command the Storm. Could have had that instead of Command the Storm, or like 1 and 1 maybe, I suppose, because at least it's like card draw. And yeah, and a fair amount of damage. So yeah, that could have fit in here. Beacon Bolt. 1 a blue and a red does damage to target creature equal to the total number of instant sorceries cards you own in exile and in your graveyard, and has jumpstart as well. So this could potentially do like a really big amount of damage. Again, it only hits creatures, which is a little bit of a shame, but I suppose if it hit players, it'd be like double the cost, really, I suppose. But yeah, this would have been okay as well, because it's nice that it counts the exiled ones as well. So all the other ones you've jump started, that could have been okay. And Crackling Drake, double blue and double red for an X4. Has flying, power and toughness. Power is equal to the total number of instant sorcery cards you own in exile in your graveyard. You've got a lot of them in the deck, so that could help. And then when it ends the battlefield, draw a card. So yeah, all these could have, I think, found a home in this deck, really. So overall, like, I think it's okay. It's all right, isn't it? It's all right. I'm not too excited by it personally. I think it's because I'm just really hung up on Jumpstart, honestly, which is being kind of worse flashback. It is still obviously good. It still makes a card better. Like, it's better to have it than not have it. But yeah, also that Omnispell Adept, I've got a real hang up about that, just because I just don't think there's much for it to do in the deck, honestly. But yeah, overall, I think it's basically okay as kind of like blue-red spells. Yeah, I think it's all right. But yeah, if you got any thoughts or stories or comments or opinions about this deck or any of the cards in it, stick a comment below. Yeah, just tell, what do you think about Jumpstart? Am I completely off base without it, or is it worse flashback? But yeah, so that was Raoul's deck. It was basically all right. I'll be back next time going to look at the second deck from Guilds of Ravnica. But until then, thanks for watching and listening, and have a great day.